Hello, welcome to Cardboard and Plastic. This is Dan. In today's video, I got a couple cards in the mail I'm going to show, but the majority of this video is really a response to Geoff Wilson, and his video is grading a scam. And I really didn't have too many issues with his modern, ultra modern, right? So if you have like a $50 card, raw, ungraded, yeah, it makes sense, right? If you have a 50% chance of getting a PSA 10 on it, might as well grade it. If you grade it and there's a 50% chance that they're deciding between the 9 and the 10, you get a 10, right? You grade 200 cards, half of them get 10s. You just made a lot of money. Now, the problem I had with the video was every single thought he had on grading vintage cards. So I'm going to go through the 3 points, and number one, one of his main points was you should grade vintage because of authentication. There's a lot of fakes. There's tons of altered cards. There's tons of trimmed cards out there. And I'll tell you, as someone who graded well over 2,000 cards with PSA, CGC, and SGC, I have encountered probably on my hands, like 10 fingers there, the amount of cards that were trimmed or altered at all, right? And actually, the majority of the cards, they don't grade, like SGC says like minimum size, right? It wasn't that the card was altered, it was cut short from the factory, which is pretty common, right? They cut these cards over the size, and I guess these grading companies don't want to take the chance. So, authentication, right? Yes, if you're buying a Mickey Mantle, right, 1953 Topps, you should get it graded. It should be graded. It's an expensive card. If you are grading, let's say, like this Warren Spahn of 1956, right? Topps, there's not many fakes of those cards, right? This Phil Rizzuto, by the way, somebody probably felt the pressure to grade it. So I cracked this out of the slab. It had a 2.5 on it. And the reason for that is I want this to be in my binder to go along with all of my 1951 Topps. That's a red back. Before, what I did is I basically made a card because I kept it, like, I was like, I don't want to crack it out. So I made this little card to put in my binder, but it just looked off. So I cracked that card out. And by the way, I paid $25 for the card, so somebody felt pressured to probably grade that card to sell it. I would have paid $25 for that card, maybe even more, ungraded, right? So they just lost money by going through that grading process. So, yes, if you're buying a $1,000, $2,000 card that's vintage, and there's certain cards that, like a Mickey Mantle, Babe Ruth's, right? Lou Gehrig's, right? There's going to be certain cards that are fakes. And by the way, you should be able to tell if a card's a fake or not if you have experience, right? So that is one point I did not like about his video. The second point was you should grade every well-known player from vintage, and even commons that get 1 and 2 from important sets like 1952 Topps. I could tell that he did zero research for his statement on that. So this right here, I don't have very many 1952 Topps. I definitely want to get some, like a Willie Mays. I mean, did they just get expensive when you get to the superstars? And yes, if I ever buy a 1952 Willie Mays, I'm probably going to buy it in a slab. There's going to be less risk. And really, the other reason is I would be scared, too, to buy an ungraded, like Willie Mays from 1952 Topps, because somebody could have gone to a card show, stolen the card, cracked it out so they wouldn't have the cert number, and then try to unload it on eBay. So really, I don't feel comfortable buying super expensive or trading for super expensive cards that are ungraded at this point, right? So if I get a Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, you better believe it's probably going to be in an SGC slab. Right, and that's who I'm really going to trust with vintage. Like I'm kind of staying away from PSA at this point. But with this, no, you don't have to grade a 1952 Topps Robin Roberts. Yes, he's a Hall of Famer. I could crack that card out of the case, and the value of the card would be about the same for 4. And Geoff Wilson said, for like 1952 Topps, even if it's a common player, a 1 or a 2, you should grade it. And that is just complete nonsense. Go to eBay right now, type in 1952 Topps, PSA 1 or PSA 2, even PSA 3, and you will see a whole bunch of cards listed for $25, which is the price of grading, right? Or you could sell the ungraded card for $20, right? And then you could actually do the ESC, the 75-cent shipping with it, which is a great thing. Like, that's a great way to get rid of, like, common cards for collectors. They pay $1 shipping for a $20 card instead of $5 in a bubble envelope. So even Hall of Famers that get 1s and 2s, you're going to lose money, right? I've graded some of these 1952 cards with PSA and SGC, and I sold them, and I would have been better off selling them ungraded. Like Enos Slaughter. Nobody wants 1952 Topps Enos Slaughter. Johnny Mize, right? Unless the card grades 5 or above, it is useless to grade a lot of those cards. And then we're talking commons, right? You're going to be lucky to sell like a 1952 Topps PSA 2 for $20, $25. And that's the price of grading. Like more now, right? It's $22 for bulk with PSA. And then you got to pay shipping back and forth. So that is something else that I just did not like. And here, somebody graded this. I got this card for about the price of grading, right? I probably got a good deal on it, but like this card, right? And it's graded correctly. It has a little wrinkle there, 3.5. Good job, PSA. But this is the type of card, right, that people feel pressured into grading, and it still has value outside of the slab. And his third point that he made is there's too many problems, right, with like buying ungraded vintage cards, right? And he doesn't buy them ungraded at his Cards HQ. And the reason he doesn't buy them at the Cards HQ is he has no idea about how to grade vintage cards, what to expect for grades. I guess he can't tell the difference between a fake and a real 1956 Topps War and Spot. Please, like, somebody find a fake 1956 Topps War and Spot and send it to me. I'd love to see it, right? And there are reprint cards. Like, all you got to do is, like, look at the back of the card, and it should say reprint, right? And that's pretty obvious. So what he is admitting by saying that his Cards HQ doesn't deal with vintage cards, like ungraded, is they don't have anybody at Cards HQ that knows how to deal with vintage. And they're losing out. They should hire an expert at Cards HQ. If there's amazing ungraded cards that are coming through, like T206s, I mean, all they got to do is have somebody there knowledgeable to buy the cards, grade them, and sell them, they're just losing out on tons of money because they don't know how to deal with vintage. So it kind of upset me a little bit, the comments that he made about vintage, and then people are probably listening to him and going out and just, they're going to grade way too many vintage cards. And I mean, myself, I have been a recovering grading addict. I graded way too many cards, and you know, I feel upset that I graded a 1962 Topps Brooks Robinson, right? But I turned $10 with $15 into a $70 card because the 1962 Topps Brooks Robinson got a 6.5. And in my head, I'm like, I shouldn't have done that, right? But imagine people grading a 1962 Brooks Robinson that's a 2 because Geoff Wilson said, you got to grade it. There's a lot of fakes out there. The card's probably altered. It's probably trimmed, right? So let me show you some cards that I bought there recently, and I'm probably going to make another video. I'm getting outbid, and by like one person on a lot, and it's kind of frustrating, and I lost out on a couple cards I really wanted. So I'll show you these first. I got 2 of these, and I'm trying to put this set together. The 2014-15 Global Icons. I'm up to like 30-something. And yesterday there was a Giannis and also a, what was the other card? A Tim Duncan. And I lost out in both. Like the Giannis went for $350, and the thing is, I kept on bidding, and the person, like, I think they would have paid $500 for that card. And then the other card was Tim Duncan, and probably the same person again that outbidded me again, or a player collector that would have gone up to $300. They are pretty rare. They're not numbered, but they are kind of like out of 15 if you go through the pack odds. So pretty upset, and I might not see another Tim Duncan or Giannis for a while. There is a Giannis over on, but it's in Greece, and with the tariffs right there, I don't even know how much that would cost. I'd probably get a $300 bill on top of that just to get it into the United States. So here's another card that I got, and I already had it, but it's numbered out to 100. Got it for a great price, and you know, these are kind of the more rarer cards I can actually get for Smiths right now, because they do have a precious metal gem Rick Smiths right now, and I'm going to make a play for it, but Nat Turner's going to beat me out on it, and right now it's like $600, $700 right now with like 3, 4, 5 days left or something like that. So I know my top end for that card, and I guarantee there's going to be a 90s basketball collector that's going to outbid me. It's out of 50. So we'll see what happens with that card. But I know my limits. And you know, it's upsetting, right, that these cards, and you might not see another one for a while, but I just can't pay $2,000, $3,000 for that card. The last card I got, and I got this in a junky card saver. It had like regular tape on it. That's not on the card. That's on the card saver. This is a beautiful 1952 Topps Roy Campanella. I already have this, but again, if I find these with the full blue borders, I buy them. I'm going to grade this with my next SGC order. And I have about 4 other cards. The reason is my other one, I think I got like a 2.5, right? So this is an upgrade. And I definitely, the other one too is like I could easily sell it and just keep the better version. The other one has a couple of wrinkles that bother me. So, yep, I do upgrade cards once in a while, but you know, that's kind of the thing with card collecting is when I do find cards for a great price, I will purchase them even if I have them, because I know their value, right? You become kind of an expert in your own little field, and you know what cards are worth right off the bat without looking up comps. So like card like this, I know what this is worth, and I got it for far under what they typically go for, right? So maybe I find another Smiths collector, and there are a few out there. Maybe it's trade bait to get another Smiths card from their PC that I definitely want. And there are a couple of cards that I definitely know a couple of Smiths collectors that I could possibly do that with. So sorry about the little bit of a rant. I just, it's just bad information from somebody that's supposed to be an expert in card collecting. I got a couple of videos planned. I've been really busy at work and probably busy at work for the next week. I have been hosting speakers, things like that for my job. But I definitely have a couple of other very important topics that I want to discuss. And really, one of them is going to be, are we in a bubble? And the answer is absolutely not. I'm getting things from like Kit Young. They want my cards. Dealers are having trouble getting vintage cards. There's a lot of collectors out there that are holding on to these cards now. So for vintage, I don't think there's a bubble. And there's cards out there that I only see them going up. And especially in our community, right? There's very certain cards that a lot of people are chasing. And the same people that are trying to collect those cards, there's investors getting in there and they're trying to hoard those cards. So I don't see much of a bubble being burst with these cards, unfortunately, right? And a lot of people have been doing their top 10 cards that they want before they die, which is pretty... I don't even want to think about that type of content there. But with that, everybody has the same cards in their top 10. And that's why I didn't really make a video with that, because we all want like those cards, right? Like, who wouldn't want a 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle or a 1951 Bowman Mickey Mantle? Like, who wouldn't want those cards? But everybody's saying that's their dream card, and the prices of those things are just going to continue to go up. There's a lot of people that put the same cards, right, into their dream list. So thank you for watching. In the comments below, let me know, should you grade every single 1952 Topps, even if it's a 1 or a 2? The comments. Please, somebody stand up for Geoff Wilson. So again, as always, thank you for watching. Have a great day and keep on collecting.